Hey, Michael, how are you?
Oh man, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic, fantastic.
And normally I come up with a bunch of stuff, but I love the intro so much. I couldn't think of anything. I thought, man, that's nice.
The new countdown?
1, 2, 3. So anyway, I have anybody listening right now tonight. We're going to talk about Kevin Feige and some of the changes of the Marvel universe. We're going to talk about some nerdy happenings of the week and also good old stupid news. So let's start the intro.
It's the Speaking Nerdy podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my good friend and compadre, Mr. Ricky Poe. Well, that was nice. I like the little countdown. It was nice.
Yeah,
Got a little jiggy with it, so that's pretty nice.
A little bit different. A little bit different for us.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it seemed a little too professional for us, but that's okay. Seemed a little bit high quality in that normally we don't condone here at the Speaking Nerdy. But so anyway, how was your week, my friend? Mr. Kermit, I see, is in the studio as well.
Yes, Kermit is in the studio
Kermit
today.
Is in the house. Yes.
Yeah, really pretty good week for me. Nothing too exciting. My daughter started her first real job. My youngest did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's working at a sushi place called Ninja.
Oh,
but she tells me she can't give me free sushi. So
she can't give you free sushi.
I was like, that was the whole point of getting you the job.
One of these days, I'm going to have a real job. So I'm just waiting for that. What are you doing? You're staring off into space. Did you have a stroke? What happened?
Oh no, I was.
You were waiting for me to say anything more. I didn't have anything great to say after that. We do have John Hammond in the house. He's going to come up later when he's more hammered than he. So anyway, he'll come up a little bit, and yes. So a lot of news, a lot of Marvel stuff is going on tonight.
Yes.
Tonight, don't watch it. Watch us instead. Tonight is the last episode of Loki. I have not seen it yet.
Yep.
Have you seen it yet?
I have not.
Okay, good, because I was afraid. Last time I was afraid to spill the beans. But, and I'm saying it right now, next Wednesday, if you haven't seen it, you better see it, because next Wednesday is our Loki season finale review.
Yep, that'll be fun. I'm excited about that.
So it's going to be good. I saw last week, and it's funny. I have watched the Rotten Tomatoes, and up to this point, it's been 7 and then 8 and 7, but I finally saw some 9s from last week's show, and but I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's been really good. I mean, who doesn't like Owen Wilson, right?
Well,
isn't that right? The podcast wife has just given me. Is the number one finger, what part of it is on the hand?
You usually use this one when you say one.
Yeah, she's very creative.
I'm guessing she uses her next finger.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, so anyway, we're glad the podcast wife is with us tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. Do we know how many episodes we have left of Bad Batch? I've been keeping up with that.
I have lost track. We've got to be getting close to the end.
I've been really enjoying it. If you haven't seen the last Bad Batch, I'm not going to ruin it, but it was interesting. There's been a lot of nodding towards the animated season of The Rebels, and which is a good series. It's an animated series, so if you're a Star Wars fan, it definitely want to watch it, because it actually part of canon. So and of course it carries on to The Mandalorian as well. So
it really has been fun. It's
really
a fun
enjoyed
little
it.
show.
It is. It is. But we got a lot of stuff.
Trying to look really quick to see.
Yeah, go check that
out.
What
the last of the Bad Batch is. So I have a question while I'm looking this up.
Yeah, you hit me.
Were you able to watch Black Widow yet?
No, there is an argument in the house whether to watch it in the living room or at the movie theaters. I will watch both, but someone wants the experience. I'm hearing some noise over there. Someone wants the experience of actually being in a crowd-infested room, watching it on the big screen, where I like to sit in my underwear with the ones with the holes because they have more breeze, and watch it on my TV. But that's just me. Plus, two, that you threw me out the last time I went to the movie theaters in my holy underwear. So,
well,
yeah.
I did see it.
You did?
I did see it.
Yeah.
No spoilers. I will say I enjoyed it.
Good. I've heard a lot of good things. You know, the critics are, you know, critics, and you know, like we've always said, if the critics don't like something and the fans do, well, then I'm going to go with the fans' recommendation. Always.
When I looked at Rotten Tomatoes,
Yes.
just a couple days ago, I haven't looked today because, you know, sometimes that changes.
Yeah, exactly.
But the critics were in the 80s.
Oh, that's good.
And
It's a lot higher than I thought it was.
and the audience with over, that still is. Tomato meter is still
Hey,
at
Daryl
80%.
McCarty. Daryl McCarty is in the house on our live audience.
Daryl.
Thank you, sir, for joining the show. Another good Marvel fanatic. He will give us some information tonight. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Tomato meter. The critics, over 300 critics at 80%,
Okay.
and over 5,000 regular users, and at 92%.
Oh, that's
So-
good.
So
That's
if
good.
anybody says that it was bad, I think they just weren't looking for the kind of movie it was.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I totally agree. Well, we have a big show, and again, we're going to talk about Kevin Feige and some of the changes, and I think it's major changes to the MCU universe. I think it has a lot of implications. But first, let's do some what I love to call is the stupid news.
It's the Weird and Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
Now, you remember that sensation we had with the Tide Pods? You know, everybody was on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
And they all wanted, you know, and of course that was not a good thing. And then, of course, they had the Gorilla
Yeah.
Hair Lady, and everybody else was doing Gorilla Glue on their head because
Yeah.
heaven knows why. Well, apparently there is a new rage out there, and I'm going to tell you up front, please do not do this at home. It's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a bad thing. Apparently it has to do with my little favorite product, we like to call Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean, yes, sir. I've used it around the house. It's wonderful.
I love the magic erasers.
Yeah,
they're
those
awesome.
They're awesome. But one thing they're not made for, but apparently this young lady, Heather Dunn, thinks so. She likes to use it on her teeth. That's right.
Ew.
Heather Dunn posted TikTok video showing her how she whitens her teeth with small pieces of magic eraser.
Okay.
Yes, the magic erasers are is a cleaning sponge. We all know that, but it contains chemicals that are harmful for this, you know, they use on the skin, indigestion, and of course, you know, anything a doctor would probably say don't do it. But apparently she made a very explicit video, which we can't play on here, but she said, yes, I'm prepared for all the dentists that are going to come here and be like, don't do it. She's crazy. I don't care. I go to the dentist and I don't tell them what I do, but they're like, you have the healthiest, strongest, cleanest teeth in town. I'm like, why? Thank you. Now, listen, folks, this is not an endorsement to put anything like Comic or anything like Clorox or anything like this stuff on your teeth, okay? Do what I do.
Don't do it.
Do what I do. Just don't care and drink more coffee and jelly donuts. So, all right?
Do you have a British mouth?
No, not quite yet. I haven't, not the whole Austin Powers thing. I haven't gone there yet.
You're just working on it.
Exactly. The video has more than 255,000 likes and more than 5,000 comments. Of course it is. In the comments, many people decided to try Dunn's advice. Thanks, don't do it. While others were critical of the method, thank you, with one user saying, magic eraser are literally fine sandpaper, girl. So anyway, of course, the spokesman of the company says, please do not use our magic erasers to brighten your teeth. So remember,
why do people do things?
I don't understand. I don't even understand the Tide Pod thing, but it was a big deal. So anyway, on the next thing, now nothing I hate more than going to the drive-through and you order your hamburger, you order anything, and they don't give you the condiments. It's like, hey, or they give you the wrong order, or they don't give you the ketchup. And it totally ticks me off. But by the time you go through the drive-through,
they put cheese on my hamburger that I explicitly said no cheese
not to. And then there's times when I tell them to add bacon, and they charge me, and they don't add the bacon. And then I ask them to give me mayonnaise. They don't give me mayonnaise. The deal is this: it's frustrating. By the time you figure it out, you're already on the road, and you're mad. And so anyway, that's a done deal. Well, apparently a situation happened for an Iowa man. He attempted to get revenge on his local McDonald's after he was shafted out of sauce for his chicken McNuggets.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't know what kind of revenge you would do. I probably call the 1-800 number, call the manager, complaint if I want to go that direction. But apparently things just kind of blew up in his face. Apparently he was arrested on Saturday night after he allegedly, What?
Wait. So, wait.
Yeah.
Somebody forgot to give him some sauce.
Yes.
And your follow-up sentence is, he was arrested?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see where this one goes.
Like, please arrest his, and I'm not going to mention his name, on Saturday night after allegedly threatened to blow up the restaurant and punch an employee over missing condiments. Yes, sir.
Blow up the restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, that man really wanted his sauce. Investigation told the station that 42-year-old suspect called the fast food chain after discovering his order was incorrect. Now, are you sure he didn't mean he was going to go in there to the bathroom and just, because, sometimes when I go to the bathroom, I say, I'm going to go blow it up. And, but you don't think that's what he meant? I really don't think so. I don't think the police were too concerned about that. I think they were concerned about something that was made out of, I don't know, metals and scraps and had wires to it. Yes.
Literal pipe bombs.
Literally, yes. They were concerned about that. So authorities arrested the gentleman that night, charged him with a felony charge of making false reports of explosive or incendiary devices. People have made some really bizarre bogus bomb threats before. For instance, back in 2019, a 23-year-old college student in Renee, France, called in a fake bomb threat so he wouldn't have to see his parents. I don't understand. In 2018, New Orleans man accused of threatening to blow up a local restaurant told police he was referring to anyway. So anyhow, that's it for that. But on the next thing, have you ever heard of Starlink? It's kind of a Elon Musk thing.
That's the Elon Musk tiny satellites, a whole bunch of them,
and it's pretty cool.
Like, you can see them in the sky at the right time of year or something.
And then they have ones that you can, exactly, and then you have one they're smaller ones that you can have in different locations. Well, apparently,
you're supposed to have internet wherever you
exactly.
are, even for people who are in crazy remote areas. You're supposed to be able to get high-speed internet through this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And
somebody call Sarah Connor.
Exactly. Yes, because eventually, there's a way that people are pretty creative. Remember satellite dishes, where they were located on the house and stuff like that. Well, apparently, the California Highway Patrol pulled over a vehicle Friday.
Okay.
Dude,
he bolted that thing on.
Yes, over a vehicle on
that's the windshield.
That's the front windshield. Yes,
I thought it was the trunk. That's the front windshield.
No. That. No,
I thought it was the back of the car. Oh my gosh.
Yes, exactly. What? It makes. Yes, now I hit stupid news a little bit harder. Yeah, it has.
Yes,
exactly.
This makes a little more sense to why it has now made it to the show.
Exactly. A satellite dish bolted to the car's hood, and the device appeared to be, of course, it's one of the SpaceX Starlink's antennas. When he was stopped, he says, "Sir, I stopped you today for a visual obstruction on your hood. Does it not block your view while driving?" The officer wrote in the Facebook post. The officer added, then the motorist replied, "Only when I make right turns." Of course, apparently we all know what happens. Apparently he gets a ticket, and apparently
I'm
his
surprised he
Starlink is
didn't
removed. Yes.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't say, "No, it doesn't obstruct my view at all. I can watch my movies just perfectly fine while I'm driving."
And trying to get through this, I have one more thing for our friend. It's a Florida man, 72 years old. He tries to mow down his neighbor with a tractor during a dispute, cop says. Yes,
What?
yes. This gentleman here, right here, he is a 17-year-old Florida man, was arrested last month after he was caught on video chasing down a neighbor on a tractor during a dispute over property. Yes. Yes. Apparently, yes, he was charged with aggravated assault with a yes. The video of the bizarre incident was released Tuesday. Apparently, in the video, authorities had received a disturbance call around 8 p.m. When the officers arrived on the scene, Scott Lynch, 53, told them that he was arguing with Morris, his neighbor, over a property. When 17-year-old climbed onto his tractor, chased him, yelling, "Run, you fat beep." "Run, your fat beep." And of course, if we had the video part, you could hear him in the background. He could sound like the guy from Duck Dynasty. So anyway, yeah. So apparently Morris was basically, he was arrested, and he was posted for a $25,000 bond, according to local news. Yes. And then also, yes. So, and also to finish it up with stupid news, we have one more. Apparently, and kind of goes back to a comment we said before, Arthur Posey faces 2 counts of communicating false information of a planned arson after telling a restaurant employee in New Orleans that he was going to get a bomb and blow this place up.
What is it with people being mad at restaurants enough to blow them up? Oh my goodness. We have the robot.
Yes. Well, apparently that was kind of a little something I threw in there, but apparently, let's just say the situation went really crappy. The New Orleans man accused of threatening to blow up a local restaurant last Tuesday told police it was all a misunderstanding. He was referring to a bowel movement.
Nice.
There you go.
My joke comes full
exactly.
circle.
Yes.
This is why you don't tell me what you're going to do.
Exactly. That's why.
And at the same time, this is kind of why you should tell me, so I don't screw up your joke.
I thought it was really good. I liked it. 30-year-old Arthur Posey walked into a Willie's Chicken Shack and asked an employee what time the restaurant closed. Yes, that's a
Willie's Chicken Shack.
Yes. And that's the real name. I'm not trying to say hide the identity of the establishment. When employees told Posey she didn't know, he allegedly replied, "Y'all about to close right now because I'm going to get a bomb and blow this place up." The restaurant employees told the police that Posey was very angry during the discussion. He later told the police that he was referring to the restroom and wasn't going to make any real threats, according to local news. The employees also said he never mentioned the bathroom when he made the alleged threat. Posey faces 2 counts of communicating false information of planned arson. He will also need to appear in court for a contemporary competency hearing, according to local news. Yes. And so, my friends, that was my stupid news.
This has been the Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
That's nice. Yeah, it's funny how you already kind of clued in when you talked about the bomb in the bathroom. I'm going, all right, we're gonna make. I thought
you're gonna save that one to last.
I'm gonna save that one for last. I figured that would be a good one. So tonight, folks, we're gonna talk about. I said, well, Hey, why don't we just do? We've got some. We don't have an intro for this, but we do have some nerdy happenings of the week. Just some stuff that was going on. Did you happen to see the Deadpool trailer for Free Guy?
Yes. Oh my goodness, Free Guy and
Korg.
Korg
From
which
Thor
I
Ragnarok.
didn't realize that Taika Waititi is in Free Guy.
Yeah, I didn't realize he also did the voice of Korg. I didn't know.
I did know that.
Did you know that?
I did know that. Yes.
Yeah.
So he usually, in almost every movie he directs, he does something. So that was what he chose to do. But I saw that and I thought it was the most hysterical thing.
I thought it was great, and and what's funny about it, I loved how. It was the closest thing of seeing Deadpool in the MCU universe.
Yes.
And of course, Deadpool's snide and sarcastic. Korg is a slow and uptake. And anyway, but they were doing a promo of the 20. And of course, this is 20th Century Fox, which is owned by Disney. Of course, they take shots at Disney Plus. And then.
And they make fun of the fact that this movie should have been out like 2 years ago.
Exactly.
Because of COVID.
And because Korg is kissing Disney Plus's rear, and of course, Deadpool is, pointing it out. But that was a great. I saw it the other day. You saw it already. I had to throw it out a couple of times. You haven't seen it. It's the latest.
It is worth the watch.
Yeah, it's worth the watch. Go to YouTube. The latest Free Guy trailer looks really good.
It does. Free Guy looks really good. And just a kind of an update on the Free Guy trailer.
Yeah.
It was earlier trailers made it sound like he was going to accidentally figure out he was a character, an NPC.
Yeah.
But this trailer makes it look like a player character shows it to him.
Yeah, well, that's what it seems like to me. Hey, before we go any further, I want to introduce the Florida man himself, Todd V. He was our resident Florida man correspondent.
Oh, yeah.
Let's welcome Todd to the mix.
Yay!
Hey, everybody!
Hey, Todd.
We don't have the kids. The sound.
We don't have the kids. No, the sound. The board is dead for right now. So we'll bring the kids back here pretty soon. But as we were talking about it, I was reading somewhere, wouldn't it be cool if, we talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, but wouldn't it be kind of funny to have a buddy movie or have Korg appears on Deadpool 3?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
I was just telling my daughter it would be brilliant if they hired Taika Waititi to direct Deadpool 3.
Oh, I think it would be great, actually. I think it'd be really good. I think him and Ryan Reynolds would just hit it off.
Yes.
That would be magic energy right there.
That would be magic right there. Todd, I sent you that link earlier to see that. And, of course, I saw that What If trailer. And, man, that looks really good, too. Yeah. I love the animation in it. It's really good. It kind of reminds me of what kind of animation would you think that would you call that, Ricky? It's almost like a cell shaded or
yeah, I'm not sure how to describe it. I like that style.
I do too. It's really nice.
It's a very modern style.
Yeah, I've seen it in a couple of Netflix.
Yeah,
they did one. I can't remember. Anyway, but
they use it on Blacklist, I think.
Oh, do they? Yeah,
okay. The last season, the last few episodes,
they
had to use animation to finish it.
And so anyway, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a really long time. I want to see Free Guy, so I look forward to that. And
I have too. I've been excited about that.
Another one too. This is funny, and I didn't know about this, but now Falcon and Winter Soldier. They had a cameo of Don Cheadle. He was in it. I love Don Cheadle. Okay, he is awesome. But what's funny is that he was shocked that he was actually nominated for an Emmy for that cameo. Do you know about? Yes, he said
no.
Yes, a lot of people were baffled when Don Cheadle scored an Emmy nomination. for an outstanding guest actor in a drama for his extremely brief appearance in Marvel's Falcon and the Winter Soldier, including, Don Cheadle. Now, I didn't know they had an outstanding guest actor in the drama, but this is a 3-minute long. It's basically a cameo.
So this is a cameo award.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is it really when
appearance?
Well, it says a guest appearance. I mean,
it's obviously it's not. Well, okay, so there's supporting actor, supporting actress, which is not the main character, but somebody who's in the show or movie.
Yeah, exactly.
At least the majority of the time. Maybe not every episode, or maybe not the whole time. So this is literally a cameo award. It's for somebody who just does a walk-on part for a bit.
Hey, I want to welcome, I see some other guests. Bob Moore is on. Thank you, Bob, for joining us. I mean, Rob Moore. Thank you, Jason Hamilton, for coming on the show and sitting out there and watching this, whatever's happening right here. I just wanted to say some shout outs out there for some of our audience. But yeah, so you were talking about in the Emmys. I mean, I know there's supporting actors, but I didn't know it came down to special guest.
I didn't either. I was not aware that was a category.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle did a good job in that spot. I mean,
I think so too.
He did kind of push. He kind of pushed the Falcon character a bit.
Yeah, he did.
So, I mean, it works. I'm a little surprised that, Don Cheadle gets an Emmy nod right before the release of his next movie, because...
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because Space Jam.
Oh, my goodness. Why?
Space Jam 2. Don Cheadle is in a rap battle with Porky Pig.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
I had that dream once, and I thought it was like a.
So
burrito
I'm
from
happy.
Taco Bell.
I'm happy that he got his Emmy nod.
Yeah,
before.
Because after that, he wouldn't have gotten one.
Ricky,
yeah.
Do you think they'll take his Emmy away after?
Yeah, they probably give him pork rinds after that.
Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. That might be grounds for removing your Marvel contract.
Yeah, I think so too.
Not only are you in a WB movie, it's that one.
It's a bad WB movie. Yeah,
he would have been better served to do Animaniacs. I think.
I think so too. At least it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so anyway, in the tweet, Cheadle, he was surprised too. He said, "Thanks, well wishers. Sorry, haters. Agreed, shruggers. I don't really get it either." But boo on we got it. Cheadle tweeted after the nomination announcement.
Did he win or just the nomination? Oh wait, when are the awards?
I don't know. I don't keep up with them. I know they're
I know the viewership on the Emmys is.
It's totally tanked. Yeah.
It always.
Did they do it as a
September?
Did they just do it to get attention?
I don't know. I think when Ricky Gervais was doing it, it had some popularity because he actually he was roasting him, really hard. So actually, when he was on hosting, people actually watched because he didn't back off. I mean he put the gloves on. Jason Hamilton, Don Cheadle was Donald Duck when Donald Duck's voice was normal for an episode.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
That's interesting. Nice tidbit there. Thank you, sir.
Hey, I'm also, I love Legos, and this is interesting. Okay, Mark Hamill is not a fan of this new Lego that's coming out. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Of course, this is from the scene of Empire Strikes Back. Okay.
I know what you're gonna show.
You know I'm going to show you, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Is this real? Is this real?
It's a custom set, which features.
Oh, it's a custom set.
Yeah, somebody made the custom set, so it is for real, but it's not.
Oh, it's
licensed.
Beyond the brick. Okay, yes.
Yeah, it's not licensed. Yeah, it's a custom made. It's funny. Officials Lego, of course, they said it's not ours. But anyway, Hamill wondered why he was seeing dismembered hands made from the brick, and I guess his reaction, it's funny. I mean, he wasn't really mad about it. He was kind of joking. He said,
he takes most things in stride.
Yeah. I mean, he was saying the actor's reaction says it all, came to the build. He said, that of course it was a tribute still being, he said the tribute still being too soon for him, despite the original airing of 40 years ago. But anyway, this is not the first time Hamill and the audience, Lego audience, had some fun with that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I have seen that just recently. Thought it was pretty funny.
But now
really, somebody came up with that.
Now this is the biggest thing. I'm just going to let out of the gate. Okay. Now, a couple of days ago, we all know, we talked about it. Kevin Feige, or is it Feige?
The man. I say Feige.
I say Feige. I like Feige. We'll go with Feige. He has announced that they're no longer doing movie contracts anymore.
I heard about this.
Now, tonight we're thinking, tonight's show, we're going to talk about what implications this might have in MCU. Because we all know that, the original Avengers, they've had everything from 8 to maybe 14 movie obligation contracts, which is, unheard of, in Hollywood. I don't know the exact number. And of course, now, we're looking at phase 2, which totally has the Avengers out of it, even though the Black Widow is kind of the introduction of phase 4. But of course, they were talking about, I guess they're setting up some characters that might be in the future movies, but I haven't seen it yet. Ricky has, so we're going to make sure he doesn't say anything. But,
I won't say anything.
But yeah, I mean, what do you think about this news?
That is, it's a little stunning, just because it's been how they built the franchise.
Exactly.
But I read his comments.
Yeah.
Which I get it. So for those who haven't read, do you have the?
Yeah, I have.
Do you have the comment there? Why don't you read what he actually said? Because I think that matters.
Yeah, it really does. Feige explained that Marvel is moving away from the massive multi-movie deals it once offered to its stars. Instead, he hinted that the talent will stay on board in return for additional projects if they're enthusiastic about the universe they've become a part of without needing an expensive contract. Now, when I read that, my thought was this pointed to any certain actors? Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like her or not, she wants to be more involved.
Yeah, that's what I read somewhere. I was kind of surprised. I of course, there's all kind of behind the scenes rumors and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of that's legit.
I don't know either, but it's interesting that he made that statement, because it's almost like almost feels like a fire at will statement. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it sounds like to me he wants actors who want to be in it.
Yes.
But what's hard for me is, let's say you have you create a character and you want them to come back and they can't. But how's that mess up the continuity of the Marvel? I mean, unless they're not going to do a story arc anymore. I mean, I think of Cumberbatch, who is Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be he's going to be with Tom Holland in Spiderman Far Away, which is interesting because they're trying to set him up like a Tony Stark type of mentor.
Yeah, the mentor relationship.
So all the fans, or posters saying, "Hey, is he going to be the new Tony Stark?" Blah 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 blah. And of course they have the multiverse, which he'll be in, and will he be the Tony Stark of this ragtag, whatever's going to show up in that movie. But then after that, there's no further contract with him. So what's going to happen? Is he going to die? I mean, we don't know. Is he going to die in the multiverse? Is he going to get, offer another contract to come back? I mean, he seems like he enjoys doing it. So I haven't heard anything else. I mean, what do you think?
I think that one of the things that the franchise is kind of relying on now is that it's gotten so popular
Yeah.
and so big that it's like you were saying, Feige wants people who want to be in the movie.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, we don't need the contracts because everybody wants to be in these movies.
And that's a real good point you made. That's a real good point.
And so that can be a double-edged sword too.
Yeah.
Because, you know, because before with the contracts, the actors could rely on steady income.
Yeah.
But without the contracts, they're free to explore other projects.
Yeah, it frees them from any expectation. I mean, they can be part of.
But that could interfere with the schedule with Marvel.
That's going to be the big thing I think they're going to run into. I think that not doing the long contracts is going to mean that they are going to sign on for other projects, and it's going to be not that they don't want to be in the movie, that it's going to be hard to schedule around other things they're doing because they now don't have that. Yeah, exactly. I have to be in a certain number of movies. Now, it does also mean that they can easily cut ties with somebody who's difficult to work with. Yeah. With somebody who just isn't, paying the bills. I mean, if you make a solo movie, let's say so Shang-Chi, because this is kind of an outlier. They haven't done a martial arts movie yet. Yeah. It's the first one. If Shang-Chi flops at the box office, they don't have to keep him. They don't have to keep bringing him back just to fill in a spot because we wrote a contract and we've got to pay him. Well, and if we don't make the movies, we still have to pay him. So, there's definitely some benefits, but I think the biggest drawback is going to be, like you said, Todd, it's going to be a scheduling problem, I think. Yeah.
I agree. I think it'll also make the actors really think about projects they accept.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, and isn't that the way they used to do business? They would have a box office hit and they go, okay, this can be a trilogy or this can be they've done that with a lot of, like for instance, Back to the Future, the first one bombed. I'm sure they wouldn't have done a second one or a third one. Right. So it sounds like to me that Marvel's kind of going back to that recipe of let's try it. If it's good, let's see if we can do a sequel. And, just because they're saying they're not doing a multi-deal, if something does very well and there's offered enough money, like, okay, this is going to do really good. Can we have a 4-movie deal with you? It gives them, I'm sure they're flexible to do whatever they want to do.
Oh, yeah. Now it does also mean that if they really want somebody for a movie and they really need that person, meaning that person, it kind of, the movie would have hinged around that person. Exactly. Yeah. That person may be able to demand more money because on those big long deals, a lot of times it was set up that this first movie, you're going to make this. The second movie, you're going to make this. Yeah. You're going to do 3 bit parts. Yeah. And then your third movie, you're going to make this much. Yeah. Well, now you get one big hit from some new actor, and they come back to the second movie and go, well, I need blah, blah, blah. And, that's what they would have paid for the third or fourth movie they were in, not the second movie they were in. So there's lots of things that could happen there.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but I think Robert Downey Jr. was doing that with the Iron Man because I don't think he was signed for so many movies.
Not initially. You're right. Yeah. I think so.
Well, I don't think they did that with the original Hulk either. I don't know. Yeah. It was, I'm not talking about it wasn't the first one that was terrible. It was the one that actually, I can't remember the actor's name. I could wish his name. Of course, he didn't carry on into the Marvel universe. But
I think we're going to see.
No.
Yeah, I think we're going to see it go back to that where it's it's going to be similar to the early movies, and it probably is going to allow them to experiment a little bit. allow them to see, which characters we can get away with,
Yeah.
which characters are going to be popular. They could launch an X-Men movie,
Yeah.
and if it flops, they don't ever have to do it again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, are they going to continue the Spider-Man franchise and have a relationship with Sony, or is this means goodbye to the Sony relationship because they're going their own way? And will this also give, maybe, and Sony could have this opportunity because they're starting to have some really good properties, even though it's a darker property of Marvel, but they could really, I don't know, if they're smart, they could really produce some good stuff and give the Fox and Disney MCU a run for its money.
Heard with the Into the Spider-Verse that they're working on the second one already?
No, I didn't know that.
And the Spider-Man movie that's coming out with Marvel, that Doctor Strange is going to be in.
Yeah.
There are all these rumors going around that they're bringing in Holland and all the other, and that's part of the multiverse thing that's going to get.
Yeah. You talking about the other actors who played Spider-Man? That's been through the rumor mill like crazy. I mean, even at first, IGN, who I totally respect, because usually their reporting is really good. And on Screen Rant, they were reporting that, almost as if it was the gospel that this was going to happen. And then they had to retract like 2 days later. So, but I mean, who knows? But I mean, you have enough money. I mean, wouldn't Andrew, Andrew, say, hey, I could use the money. I mean, what are these guys doing right now? So, unless it's ego, but I mean, it's a great idea, and who knows what's, Feige is keeping this under lock and key, and anything can happen, and they're good enough where, because I mean, Holland, they always joke, all the other cast members give Holland a hard time because he'll accidentally leak something that he shouldn't,
Yeah.
and so. But
I'm not sure how much of that's
real
and how much of that's
how
marketing.
much. Well, and that's what and that's what it goes back to. It was that marketing when they, when IGN, and I'm not saying IGN was in cahoots with them, but I'm just saying, how much of that was just getting it out there, and then taking it away, and then people's hopes and crush their hopes, and hopefully when the movie comes, and their hopes, arise again. But I mean, we've seen Marvel do this before. So,
well, and this idea of not having the long contracts, I feel like we are kind of at a new door for Marvel. We finished the Infinity Saga. It feels complete. A lot of people either, spoilers, a lot of people have died or left or got old or retired or whatever. Honestly, if you haven't seen the movie in 3 years, you've probably
pretty much not a Marvel fan.
Not worried about it. But
not worried,
with this idea of taking a look at the Marvel universe and saying we're kind of starting over from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I could see where Kevin Feige can go, okay, let's go back to, like Todd was saying, like Iron Man, like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
He probably didn't have a multi-movie contract the first movie.
Probably not.
But the second movie, I'm sure he did because they saw the potential. Well, so that's what they do. They do a bunch of single movie contracts with all these people to make, to make the Eternals, to make Shang-Chi, to make, the Fantastic Four, to make, whatever this next Black Panther movie is really going to be about. Whatever movies do we have set up? But the actors that they've just added for the Black Widow movie, because not really a spoiler, but we can expect some of those people might show up in later movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even a new Black Widow,
or even a different Black Widow.
Go that direction too.
So we've got all these people that we can that Feige can now throw at a movie and see who works and see who doesn't. And when he gets, when he's sifted all the chaff, he can go, okay, here's my 5 key players. I can give them all multi-movie contracts.
I totally agree. Well, think about it. Like, you made a good point. Robert Downey Jr., he everybody knew who he was, but he was a C-lister. He was down in his dumps.
He was so down and out.
So so they gave him the opportunity with Iron Man.
Which ain't fair now, does it?
Yeah. So so he gets the opportunity in Iron Man. And of course, then, Chris Helms, because you notice these first shows, movies, you have Iron Man and then, the first Avenger, Captain America. Yeah. They were movies that could have ended. They didn't.
Oh, yeah.
So it's almost like, okay, let's try this and see.
They
if it works
hinted
or
at
not.
something at the end.
At the end,
it could have totally been just for funsies, and they could have written it off. Absolutely.
Now Feige was talking about, and I was reading in the same article I was reading, that he's looking at potential more prequels.
Oh, right, more prequels, right?
More prequels,
okay.
Which, he made a statement. Let's see here.
All I'm saying is some of those actors are getting a little old to go back and do a prequel.
I know it. I know. I was getting ready to say you better hurry on that deal. But yeah,
was that software they used to de-age?
That worked really good for Skywalker. That worked really well with Skywalker, didn't it?
I'm just gonna say I really, really enjoyed Black Widow.
Yeah,
but Scarlett Johansson does not look like she did during Civil War.
Exactly.
She's got some facial difference. She's gained or lost weight or whatever it is.
Like all of us,
she looks different. Exactly. She just looks different. And the whole movie, it was.
Look at that. Dale McCarty says no prequels. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't really want to see a prequel. Let's go ahead and go further in the stories. Because you made a good point, Ricky. These folks, the only person who hasn't understand that they need to quit is Harrison Ford, and that's a totally different franchise. But anyway, love Harrison Ford, but anyway, give it a break. But so anyhow, but a lot of them, they're not at that place. Because think about it. He made a good, like the Avenger, the original Avenger movie. Scarlett Johansson at that age, and in doing a prequel at the age she's at now, which better shape than I ever will be. But for age, but still, there's that. Like the Data thing, Data, as an android, his battery swells and he gets bigger in Picard.
Oh man, we're back to that again.
And
I'm never gonna live that down.
Yeah, so
okay, so let's talk about this for a minute. If there were prequels, I know, no prequels, I get it. Who can they actually do a prequel for?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That they haven't already done. That they already haven't already done an origin story for.
Yeah.
So it would have to be a post or for the big, big 5 or 6, it would have to be post origin.
Yeah.
Pre whatever happened. And we've already had we've already had a Hulk origin story that they claim is canon.
Yeah.
But we've got a different actor now.
Yeah.
But there's all this. There's
Edward
all
Norton.
These issues. Edward Norton. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's all these problems with distribution. So they can't make a Hulk movie.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, but then who do you have left? Are you going to do a Clint Barton Hawkeye prequel?
Yeah.
That might be okay.
Who's going to play it? Well, who's going to play it again?
Yes, exactly. I'm definitely with you on that one. I don't think Clint Barton can pull off a young Clint Barton.
No, he can't.
He's going to have to be recast. We've already got a Carol Danvers, a Captain Marvel origin story.
Already that. Yeah.
I guess you could have a quote unquote prequel, a midquel.
I don't know,
something where it's after she's been Captain America, but
like a
she's
midlife
in
crisis
space
equal or something.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, when they make the comment, she's off, you know, she's busy with, there were other planets to save. She makes that throw off line.
Yeah.
You know, do we make a movie about her, you know, saving other planets, which is kind of the Black Widow thing.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
yeah.
Since we don't have the character to use after,
I mean,
in game, what can we do? All we can do is,
I mean, if you want to
squeeze a movie in the middle.
Exactly. If you want to do something that, you know, okay, this is what happened. Well, like with Loki, this is what happened between this time and this time with Loki. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not really a prequel. It's just kind of like right in the middle, you know, stuff that's happening that nobody knew was happening.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
I think that's what it would have to be.
yeah. So
because
it's not really a prequel.
Like who else hasn't had a good origin story? I mean, even Scarlet Witch, she didn't have her own, you know, Wanda Maximoff, she didn't have her own movie.
No, she didn't.
For an origin story.
No.
But we've pretty much gotten her origin story through the movies she was in and WandaVision.
Exactly, yeah.
And, you know, and then there's, I mean, you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy. Maybe you have a Groot and Rocket. You know,
that's the only way you're going to be able to do it. If
that
you do those
could
kind
be
of
fun.
Now, I would watch that.
You take those two, give them an origin story. Why are they together? You know, that one I could see.
I mean, yeah.
But I mean, we pretty much have the Peter Quill origin.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I would do a Krog. Korg.
Korg.
Yeah, Korg. Why not?
Yeah, I'm like scrolling through all the different names of who we don't have a good
it's going to have
origin
to be
story for.
It's going to have to be some support actors.
Valkyrie.
Now that would be good.
That would be a good.
Yes,
that would be a good one.
Watch that.
That would be good.
Yes.
I really like Tessa Thompson.
I think she's great.
She's great. Let's see.
Let's boot him out. No.
I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say something about the family. I'm getting the whole family memes coming back to me. Sorry about that.
Way to go, Jason Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm talking about the family. Holiday special, Groot and Rocket holiday special for Daryl McCarty. Yeah, that's all we need. That's all we need. Oh, that's funny.
I mean, like you've got Sam Wilson and you've got Rhodey, but they don't really have origin stories.
No.
They were just military guys that got
not much of a story.
Got their uniforms. Yeah. You know, they were like, "Hey, you're a superhero now."
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know who else.
I mean, unless they do an actor and they go so far back that they can actually hire someone who looks really close, like the Solo movie. You know, I mean, I mean, if you're gonna go that kind of direction, you know.
Well, maybe he's gonna do prequels for stuff he hasn't done yet.
Well,
how do you mean?
Like the new Avengers?
Yeah.
You think could that be in the formula? With all these new projects that they're launching, that they could do prequels for the new projects, maybe?
I don't know, but it's interesting that he said that outright. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was in an article. With this article, I mean, with information, you know, I just repeated, you know, about the whole contract thing, but he stated that there is possibilities of more prequels.
Now, you could have a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie, you know, Mara Hill and...
You have to recast that whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Which is fine because apparently, you know, S.H.I.E.L.D. is not the TV series. It's not part of the canon, so...
Yeah, I've never actually read that that's confirmed, but it doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah.
It has problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean... Now, we could do a lot of origin stories for characters that don't exist yet. And maybe this is what you mean. You know, there's a possibility we could have young Avengers.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
You know, a bunch of the characters are there. And you could do origin stories for them, kind of, you know, for each individual one. But I don't know how that will pan out. And they haven't even hinted at it.
Yeah,
Feige hasn't said word one about Young Avengers.
No, he hasn't.
Even though everybody, even though it's so there.
Oh, exactly.
It's like Feige,
Yeah.
you've got this on a plate. Why aren't you using it?
But do you think they may? I mean, because the MCU universe can do whatever it wants. Do you think they're going to pull some characters out of the Eternals, and maybe sprinkle maybe a couple of them if they see anyone is popular in that movie?
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I mean,
and I expect we'll get a Black Knight movie.
Yeah, I hope
at
so.
some point.
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to get a Moon Knight. Yeah.
Moon Knight show,
which I'm looking forward to. Really
Yes.
am. That's going to be an awesome show. But also, let's not forget, after this slate is over, they've confirmed that Blade, Fantastic Four, and the X-Men.
Yes.
Now, of course.
Yeah, so we could just scrap it all and just start over with those 4 franchises and see where it goes. Now, I'm not sure how Blade is going to fit into the MCU or if he's really going to need to be standalone.
That's true. Well, I mean,
go after Mobius.
Yeah, there we go. Now we've got to get Sony involved again.
Exactly.
I've thought about that too, but that's so tied up with Sony. I don't know. They have enough trouble trying to get the big name.
Yeah,
to get Spider-Man,
Tom Holland, and play nice. Yeah.
Maybe they would just give him away because they're like, yeah, Mobius, it didn't do that well.
Exactly.
I don't know. We'll see.
You can have him.
Speaking of doing well, I want to bring Black Widow back up.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is not spoilers. This is just what happened.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, did you look at any of the numbers over the weekend?
I haven't looked at them yet.
Okay. So, previous weekend or the weekend before that, Fast F9 came out. Yeah. Fast and Furious, the 9th episode of Fast and Furious.
Oh, is that what that stood for?
Yeah, and 5,000 memes after that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the family thing.
Yeah.
So made $70 million at the box office. That's super low for a big blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
However, it was the largest opening since the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. I did read that. Yeah.
Black Widow made $80 million this past opening weekend.
Oh my goodness.
So
that's
Black
Widow
opening weekend. So Black Widow has already surpassed it. It made another $78 million internationally.
Yeah.
And Disney released, which Disney never releases numbers like this.
Yeah, I know.
They said $60 million gross from Disney Plus Premier
That was my
Access.
question.
There you go.
That was my question.
So over the weekend, almost a third of their income came from Disney Plus subscribers who didn't go to the theater. But it's so close that it's like, why would you not just continue to do both?
You know what? It's funny because HBO Max have not done this yet. They have not showed any numbers yet. Of course, I don't think Disney Plus did that on a couple of them that they did before.
They have not shown I can't remember the names of the movies. The dragon movie.
The dragon one.
Then there was
Mulan.
the Mulan. Yeah. Was there Cruella? They have not released
but they
any
weren't
numbers.
really big. I mean, it's like they're really big movies, but
they didn't release any numbers on those, and I think it could be telling.
Yeah.
But here's my point. You have a blockbuster. Now I think the three of us agree we're not Fast and Furious fans.
No.
I will say I enjoyed the very first one because I like cars. I'm super interested in cars and high powered cars, and I was like, hey, look, it's Point Break with cars, and I liked Point Break. Yeah. So I enjoyed the first movie. I'm not a fan of the franchise. So we're not fans of the franchise, but we all know tons of people are.
Yes, exactly.
And that only released in theaters, period. There's no way to watch it digitally online. It made $70 million.
Man. Now, who's the studio behind that?
I think Warner.
Warner?
Because I think the expectation is it will come out on HBO Max.
Okay, that's
eventually.
That's what I was wondering.
I believe Warner is the distributor. So $70 million. Yeah, that's really good, but it was only in theaters.
Yeah. I guess my question is on that.
Black Widow.
Go ahead.
Well, Black Widow made more just in theaters, and you could still watch it digitally.
Yeah, exactly.
At home. So having it on Disney Plus didn't limit their box office.
See, that's my question. Yeah, exactly.
It doubled it. Yes.
Yeah, because it bring in people, and it sounded like it brought in people who normally don't go to the movie theaters, and they because of the price, and they going, okay, actually $30 is great because I got 5 kids, I've got,
I got microwave popcorn, I got soda pop in the fridge.
I don't have to have this guy in front of me that's 10 feet tall. I can't see. Yeah, I can't see the
sticky floors.
Yeah.
It's not just the money though. It's and I know we don't like to talk about stuff, but my wife does not want to go to a theater.
Yeah.
Oh,
because of COVID.
Yeah.
Well, I totally get it.
So that's a big deal. I mean, I think
it's smart to really push the streaming now. I think this is the biggest opportunity they could have ever had to launch this.
I expect these numbers. My expectation is that Warner Brothers will do a premiere access option on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them not doing it. It just makes sense.
Daryl McCarty says single parents now have a sane way to watch movies now, which is awesome.
Amen, brother.
Yes.
Because listen, I understand what parents have to go through. I remember having the little ones too. And nothing worse to go to a movie theater and you're trying to watch something and someone brings their 2-year-old or their infant and they're like crying in the background, and here you are just spend like $15 trying to watch this movie.
Or you brought your family.
Yeah, exactly.
So I brought my family, and I have my, let's say, 7 or 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And I'm super hyped about, the new Marvel movie. And right in the middle, at the most climactic point, my kid has to pee.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have to get up and leave.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm sitting at home on Disney Plus and watching on my TV, and my kid says, I got to go pee. Well, go pee.
Exactly.
I don't have to go with you.
Go pee. Now, do they let you pause it on Disney Plus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. That's a big deal.
Yep. Yeah, actually, when I watched it, it actually took me 2 days to watch it, 3 sittings, because I was super busy this weekend.
Let me ask you, now how many days do you have to watch? You can only watch it one time?
No, you can watch it over and over for, I think,
48 hours.
What? Is it only 48 hours? I
know Amazon. I know with Prime they do it when you rent a movie. You have like 48 hours, to watch it.
You have just made me curious.
Or you can pay a little bit more and own it on. I think it's on Prime.
Yeah, on some of that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like most movies that you rent, of course, this is the rent. They're older movies. You can basically,
Well,
we rent something and, you can, you have 48 hours or 24 hours to watch it or whatever, which means, I
bought it Saturday night. I still have access to it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I would be interested to see what the even bigger flat screen TV sales are like now.
Yeah, I don't know.
If people want the theater in the home kind of thing, like the big 72-inch and larger.
Now, this is something that Feige did say that I read this week as well. And it's relevant to this conversation because we're talking about should they continue, premiere access same day as theater. Yeah. Feige explicitly said, we are going to continue to make movies for the theater experience.
Yeah.
So he is definitely, based on that comment, he definitely has it in mind that he is not going, they're not going to focus on Disney Plus.
No.
They're going to focus on the theater.
Yeah.
But I am sure, based on those numbers, Disney is going to continue premiere access. Well, I can't imagine. Oh, by the way, this was also something that's kind of interesting. I know, Todd, you said, some, like your wife doesn't want to go to the theater
Right.
because of COVID. Um, uh, let's see. Black Widow opened in over 4,000 theaters. Okay.
Yeah.
4 years ago, is it The Last Jedi? Was that the one that was 4 years ago, or was it Rise of Skywalker? Whichever one it was. Whichever one was 2017.
Yeah.
That movie released opening weekend in just over 4,000 theaters. So what that means is there are basically pretty close to the same amount of theaters today as there were pre-pandemic. The theaters didn't die like everybody expected.
Oh, that's a relief to hear.
Yeah.
Because there are some movies that you really want to watch in a theater because they're so dynamic.
Well, some of them are made specifically for the big screen, but
F9 is not a movie theater thing for me, but battles
maybe exactly. Well, I mean, that's how it felt about. I mean, most people felt about Avatar when they saw Avatar for the first time. Of course, it was different immersion experience. But yeah, I mean, like you're saying, and even though Feige said that, we're making it for, and that's okay, target for the theater because that's the quality, so you can read it certain. Rob Moore says, Dune will be the next movie, will be my next
I would
movie
go to the movie theater to see it.
Dune.
That's exactly right, Rob.
Yeah, that one, I mean, the cinematography on that was probably going to be great, and it's going to pop on the big.
When's that supposed to come
screens. Out? I'm not for sure. Rob, do you know when it's? What's that?
I think it's September.
September.
Because we started hearing things about it, and then it kind of went.
Yeah, it started. A lot of these movies.
October 1st.
October 1st. Okay. Yeah. So, but like what Feige was saying, they're going to make movies for the theaters, and that's fine, as far as I'm concerned, because I want that quality and that option to watch it on, on Disney Plus. So I don't know if that was a stab against, if he's being anti, same day, versus, having it in the movie theaters, or if he's just saying that, we're not going to lower the quality and make it into something that's like a TV movie. It's going to be made for the theaters, so it can, and then I hate to say the word port, but port it over to, to TV. So I don't know. I like to know where he's coming from, his meaning behind that. If he has these deep feelings of, this is meant to be seen for the theaters and not on small screens.
Yeah. So if he doesn't get all elitist, if he doesn't get all elitist and say my movie must only be seen on the big screen,
I know.
Which I'm like, dude, get over yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know what? Every critic out there, you know what critics get? They get a freaking DVD to pre-watch a movie.
Yeah.
They don't go into a theater to pre-watch your movie and judge it.
Yeah.
They get, they might start getting digital downloads now, but even just a year or two ago, working with where everything was already digital, the critics and the film festivals weren't taking digital copies, and at some instances you had to turn in a DVD. So your critics aren't watching it on the big screen, and they're not going to. So
and it's an element of the reaction of the audience when they don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't you?
You definitely, I will say, you definitely lose something not watching it in a theater.
Yeah.
I will not even. I
can't deny that.
I don't deny that at all.
There's some movies that doesn't matter, but there are certain movies, I mean, it's meant for the theater experience. But again, in your situation, if you're at home, like Daryl made the comment, for all parents who have little ones, and good examples of the kids got to go pee, they're too loud, got to go get popcorn, you have to go pee. I mean, that's a big thing. That's a big option for a lot of parents.
because there are iconic scenes that you can think of where you were in the theater, and a certain scene, like when Yoda started fighting Count Dooku, and everybody went nuts.
Yeah,
they're screaming and shouting. I can remember watching one of the Rocky movies where he was fighting the Russian.
Yeah,
and people were standing up and cheering.
Well, I mean, like, well, I mean, for me, the end game. I mean, when Captain America in battle was able to picked up the hammer.
Yeah.
And then Thor says, "I knew it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it. To me, it gave me goosebumps. And I saw a YouTube of somebody, filming it with their camera. That part, and the audience in the background just. I mean, there was ecstatic. I mean, it's like people got up, they clapped. I mean. Anyway, that experience right there, that moment,
communal experience.
Yes, exactly.
You definitely. I mean, it is worth paying for. I'm not. Yeah. It is worth paying to go to the theater. I like the experience. I don't mind paying for the overpriced water. But at the same time, there're just instances where, I mean, for me, going to the theater is just not a good option right now.
Rob Moore has a good comment. You mind posting his comment down there, please? Rob Moore says, depending on the movie, some it's the full immersion. Others, it's just nice to get out with your better half and watch a movie without the kids in a theater, which is totally,
true.
So,
exactly.
So you asked the question, Mike, Premier Access.
Yeah.
I can't actually find anything from Disney that says, but from an article I found, once you've paid for Premier Access, you have access to that movie.
Oh, wow.
So the expectation is in 3 months, everyone will have access to that movie. But you pay the $30 and you have, for 3 months, you can watch that movie before anybody else can.
Wow.
And then continue to watch it in perpetuity?
Yes. And then once it's available to everybody, it's available to everybody. But just for your regular. So for $30, it's not like I'm paying $30 and I have to watch it in a 48-hour period. Mm-hmm. Which is actually what I was thinking it was.
Well, that's
what I need to make sure I get this watched.
Right.
But in reality, I could have bought it, which, for me, it's like, now this means I bought it, which I did. I did Premier Access. I didn't go see it in the theaters, full disclosure. And I watched it on my laptop. My youngest daughter will now watch it at her leisure.
Yeah, exactly.
At some point, we will probably watch it on the big TV.
Yeah.
Me and my wife and my youngest daughter. And my oldest daughter's not so much into the Marvel thing, which is fine. And so she probably won't. And she doesn't live in our physical house right now.
Yeah, exactly.
She's away at working at a camp in a different town. So, but even if she wanted to, it's all attached to the one account. So she could go in and she could watch it wherever she is.
That's it. How many people do you think realize that? And could that affect could that affect number? I'm just saying, hypothetically, how many people know that, and how would that affect sales?
Know that once I buy it, I can keep rewatching it, or
yes, exactly. Let me rephrase
that it's not a short period of time.
Yeah, if people let me rephrase that. If hypothetically, if people realize that I buy this and I can watch it as many times as I want, and I can watch it from anywhere I have my account, how does that play into the numbers of buying you have friends come over, they watch it, you have, there's all kinds of questions in a business.
Dude, it makes that $30 seem a whole lot better, more affordable.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was what I was thinking. I was like, if just my daughter decided to go to the theater and watch it, because she has that freedom. She's 18 now, my youngest. She's 18 now. She could go to the theater by herself and watch the movie if she wanted to.
Yeah.
It cost her $30.
Mm-hmm.
because she's going to go to get the big drink and the candy and and the ticket, and it's going to cost her $30 just to go to the theater.
Yeah.
And she's kind of a homebody. She's not afraid of COVID, so it's not a afraid of going out. She's just naturally a homebody. She doesn't go out. It's just not her thing. She'd rather have her friends over here than go out with a bunch of people. So, spending $30 for Black Widow was kind of a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's cool to know, because it's like, I mean,
Now, I will say, if Disney wants more of my money,
yeah,
what they need to do is come up with a Premier Access tier, and instead of charging me $30 per movie, they charge me $5 or $10 extra per month, and just give me all the Premier Access movies, every one of them, because I'll pay the extra money and I'll watch the other movies that I really would never have paid $30 for.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we didn't pay $30 for Cruella. Nobody in my house was excited about that movie. But if we did, if we had a Premier Access tier that we paid for, we probably would have watched it.
Yeah, I don't. It depends on the value, because
they'd have to put out enough movies that it would be cheaper for me to have the tier than to pay $30 each time.
Dale McCarty says I'll do another 10 or 15 a month for that, which that would be. I think it would be more 10 or 15 more a month besides 5, because
I'm thinking it's an additional $10.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's say it's an additional $10 a year. That's $120 a year. If I bought 4 Premier Access movies, I would spend that.
Yeah.
If they release 6 Premier Access movies, and I'm excited about 4 of them, but I'll bother to watch the other 2, I've saved money, and they're guaranteed to get my money.
Yeah, exactly. That's an idea. Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do it, but I would totally pay for it.
Well, they would still have the 2 options. Okay, if you still want to pay $30, you can, or if you want to be on the tier, then pay an extra $10 or $15 a month. Yeah. I don't know how I would be on that. I would, I would, at this point, it would have to be something I want to see, and I would pay the $30 versus paying $10 or $15 a month. It just depends. Now, if there's a ton of Marvel movies, which I guess there will be, but then
and that's the big question.
Yeah,
is are they going to continue? What's Daryl say? I may buy 1 or 2 movies, but would pay for the whole year. See, that's the way I am.
Yeah.
I would be pickier on the movies I watch if I have to pay individually.
Right.
Yeah.
But the big question is, was $60 million enough for Disney to say, that's it, we're sticking with it, every major movie we release is going to be Premier Access?
Yeah.
Are the theaters going to be happy about that? They're not. The theaters are not happy about it. But technically they should be, because it looks like it didn't actually affect the theater going audience.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't. Honestly, if the people that are excited about it, they're going to go see it in the movie theaters now.
Yeah.
Except for those, who has families and then are lazy like me, who don't want to drive to the movie theater to watch it. But,
Daryl, he's going to wait for Black Widow to come out on the theater.
Let's see.
Yeah, but Darren McCarty says exactly that's why I'm waiting 3 months for Black Widow.
Yeah, so 3 months we expect it will be free on free because you pay for Disney Plus. So so this is kind of another thought that I have that I do kind of like. No. I hope Disney keeps it up. And here's why. Because if it does suppress the theater just a little bit, that means when I do decide to go to a theater and watch a movie, it's not a billion people in there. Because, okay, so have we told this story? You and I went to the midnight showing. What movie was it?
This was like the very first one of the couple of first season when we came back, when we just started doing
season
the show.
2. Was it Justice League?
No. It was the last the Rise of Skywalker, I think.
Oh, it was the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, you're right. So we go into the Rise of Skywalker.
There's like nobody.
There's one guy behind
in the back. Now,
behind us, like 3 rows behind us.
Now, mind you, we did. Yeah,
that's it. It's a empty theater,
and we did this New Year's Eve. Okay, and it was like what. 1 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Or some weird
midnight showing
we went to go.
On New Year's Eve. We didn't have anything going, and we're like, we're gonna go see this movie, and it was like, this is the way every theater should be.
Oh yeah, I know
hey,
it.
Does your theater have the reserved seating?
Yes.
It does.
So we had to sit in our reserved seats in a big empty theater.
I hate people coming in at the last minute looking for seats.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a big guy, you come in.
Yes.
I'm all like.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I like sitting back where they have like the handicap accessible, and I'm not taking their spots because they have there's designated areas, but the row have so much leg room.
Mm-hmm.
And your back, you can see the whole screen. Some people like to be right up front and just be at the nosebleeds, like looking right up at it. And that's not me.
Yeah.
But some people like in the middle. I
like middle.
I know.
Middle. That's me.
But I love having the leg room and having that, that don't touch me,
yes,
space,
So with the idea of keeping premiere access and having the theaters just a little less full, really, really appeals to my introvertedness.
Oh yeah, same here. Yeah. So what's that? Oh, I thought I was getting attacked over the theater of Black Widow. Yeah. So
is that the podcast wife's new nickname?
Wife. Yes.
Her new nickname is Black Widow.
Black Widow. I don't know if that's good for me.
I don't know. For a while, her avatar on here was Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, I think we'll put that up again. So yeah. So anyway, there's a lot going on. I mean, and and this is all speculation.
Hey, can we talk about Loki for a second?
As long as we don't do any spoilers. Yeah.
No, I've got a theory. I talked to you about it, Mike. About if anybody. Well, I don't know. Should we talk about it at all?
Well, I was thinking what we might do is tonight is the last show,
right?
And next Wednesday we're gonna do we're gonna have the spoiler alert thing go off and everything. So
I'll wait.
So next Wednesday we're gonna do this. We're gonna do our Loki show, and so folks, that means you have till next Wednesday.
You have a week. Go watch Loki.
So watch Loki.
Todd Tolton, you have a week to go watch Loki.
Exactly. So everybody.
He always complains that he won't listen to the show because we're gonna have spoilers. Yeah. And I'm like, just go watch it then,
dude. Okay, while you're posting memes, watch it. Okay, while you're posting the memes, watch it, man. We love you. We want you on the show. Okay, dude. You're part of the family. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
So we love Todd, man. He's awesome, Mr. Todd Tolton, the man, the legend. Yeah. But yeah, next Wednesday, of course, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about the Loki. We're going to go over, what we thought, and again, what Todd V is talking about, how what we think is going to happen next. And so, so watch it, watch Loki so we can talk about it next week. And of course, our audience chime in next week. We want to know what you have to say. And what did Rob Moore posted? We should start posting, go watch Loki on these memes.
I got a feeling that's going to happen now.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, we have a Speaking Nerdy group on Facebook, and we're pretty active, and it's fun, and we kid each other like family. So
speaking of, let me do all the things real quick.
Yeah, do that.
So go click all the little buttons down there, like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever buttons are down below. Just click all those buttons.
All of them.
And you can find all of our social links at speakingnerdy.com, as well as links to our YouTube channel. Definitely go subscribe. We are trying to get our 100 subscribers so we can get our vanity URL. So then you can go to YouTube/something nerdy, but you can't yet. So
yeah, that's true.
Help us out.
Yeah. Don't post Daryl's comment. I don't want to see that down there. Because nothing's stronger than family. Another dumb meme. Thank you. I expect nothing less.
All I'm going to say is, no, I can't. Dang it. I want to say something about Black Widow, and I can't.
Ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna do it. You're going to make the podcast wife really mad, and I live with her, so don't do it.
Well, okay, I won't. I won't.
The Looper trailer on the Ten Ring guy.
Oh yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah. And they mentioned that his dad is the guy that you've been talking about, Mandrake.
Yeah, Mandarin.
Yeah.
So
his dad is, and I watched the trailers. I'm a little confused as to whether it's really his dad, or if it's like a true adoption dad, or if it's I have adopted you as if you are my son, but like a mob adoption kind of thing.
Right.
Because there is definitely some Asian mafia kind of things going on with the Ten Rings. So I'm not sure I follow all of that based on the trailer, but we still are not getting a true traditional comic book Mandarin. But that's okay. I think we're getting closer.
Yeah,
well, Mike, do we have anything else?
I don't have anything else. Do we have a link to post to our YouTube? Actually, we do. I don't know if we're able to, if it let us do that or not. But if you have a YouTube account, please go to, let's see if this works or not.
Should.
Please go to, of course, you'll see Speaking Nerdy Facebook. We have, of course, you see the link to our Facebook page if you're in the chat. You'll also see the one to the YouTube page. In the YouTube page, we really want you to go on. I mean, you can view on any one of them you want, but that's where we're trying to get our numbers up. So if you have a YouTube account, please visit, subscribe, and help us get our numbers out. I appreciate it. Right now we're at 87, and we want to get to 100. So share with your friends and motivate them and bribe them and blackmail them. I don't care what you do, as long as they
Black Widow them.
Black Widow them. On that case, I think we need to go.
Speak nerdy.
It's the Speaking Nerdy podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Shilley.
And my good friend, Mr. Ricky Pope. And thank you, Todd V. from Florida. Man, that was something. Ooh. And what's really great about it is, the guy from Jurassic Park showed up. I love that.
Yeah.
So
my favorite part is that the show is ending now.
Yeah.
And we now have more viewers than we have had the entire show.
I think they're all